Good evening, boys and girls, wherever you are, and welcome to episode 21 of Love at First Scent with me, Persolaise, here on Facebook Live today. I think, as usual, before I say all my hellos and greetings, I think we should start by smelling a perfume. And I have got my eye on this one. This is actually very heavy, so I hadn't realised how heavy this was. This was a sample that I received not too long ago. Let's hold it up for you. Hang on, let's let it have its little moment. I can never get my left and right correct when I'm in this mirror mode. Right, let's do this properly. So here we are. You can see that it's from Dolce Gabbana, and it is the latest addition to their The One range. And it's got some Arabic writing at the top, which I'm not going to attempt to read. I'm interested in trying it out because it's a new perfume, and I'm always interested in trying new perfumes. But B, because as I will show you in the press release, I think it's the first press release that I've ever seen here, based where I am in the UK. I am paying attention to what I'm doing, but I'm just bringing this feed up on my tablet so that I can catch comments, etc. later. Let's make sure it's working. Yes, it is. Hello to everybody who's saying hello. I will look at the comments and say hello back to you, I promise, unless I lose the comments. But thank you very much to all of you for tuning in. So there is something interesting about the press release for this one, which kind of made me doubly curious to try it, but I think we should go for it anyway. So this is the exclusive edition of Dolce & Gabbana's The One. I'm sure the first word is Layl, which I think means night, but I don't know what the other one is. Is Sahri or something like that? Anyway, let us find out what it smells like, and then I will tell you what it is that I found interesting about the press release. Okay, here we go. As I say, I will do my hellos and welcomes properly in a moment. Keep the comments coming, by the way, and the thumbs up. So I believe, unless I'm mistaken, that this is the standard shape for the Dolce & Gabbana The One bottle. It has gone through a few variants over the years. In fact, I think there may even be another more sort of mainstream variant available now. I may be wrong, called Grey, perhaps. Somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. Right, let's just label this. Not a massive fan of most Dolce & Gabbana fragrances, but it was actually a D&G that gave us a very pleasant surprise here a few weeks ago from their exclusive range. It was the Velvet Incense that I should say, that took us a little bit by surprise. Okay, here we go. First one of the day of this episode. Apologies about the noises off, because not only does the traffic seem to be quite busy and noisy today, but it's also very windy. Right, hope you can see that. What's this going to be like? Okay. It's funny, because already it seems to be a story of two halves. There's one half that's kind of stultifyingly dull and really, really predictable, and the other half that's making me think, gosh, that's interesting. And what I mean, this could make me go into a long Mark Kermode style rant about the current state of masculine perfumery, which I won't do, but if any of you have spent any time smelling the current crop of releases for men, you will know that boy, is there a thing out there at the moment for woody, ambery dry downs. Certain aroma chemicals that have wood facets to them, amber facets to them, and also aspects that, to my nose, are really, really abrasive and crude and coarse and aggressive. And so many mainstream masculines seem to have that facet to them. The actual materials themselves can be very well used. I think it was in Parlement de Parfum that one of their perfumes, I think it was called Tomboy Neroli, where I thought it was fairly well used. In the Hermès Eau de Citron Noir, perhaps less skillfully used, but I still like that perfume's top note. Actually, the new one from Frederic Malle, which we may have a chance to try today, is I could write a sort of interesting dissertation style piece on the use of the woody ambery molecules in that one. So, where am I going with all of this? The woody ambery facet is very much in evidence here. So that's the part that I consider to be stultifyingly dull. But the interesting thing is a powdery, almost sweet aspect that's somehow reminiscent of Dior Homme, you know, maybe the sort of vanilla side of it. Now, it may be that on paper, those two facets might come together better, might meld together more successfully. But already here, sorry, the woody ambery stuff is dominating. We'll see how it carries on. And to me, it just makes me think of Gillette shaving gel for sensitive skin. You know, those same molecules, those same synthetics are used to create the smell of those particular products. But let's give it a chance. So before I read the press release and before I tell you why I found the press release interesting, hello and welcome to episode 21 of Love at First Scent. Those of you who don't know the drill, very, very quickly, the idea here is that whereas on my blog, I post reviews that I've thought about, I've reread, I've redrafted, they're perfumes that I've smelt again and again and again that I've worn. This is the sort of antithesis of the blog. This is where I give you initial impressions about the things that I smell. I look at the samples of the new releases that I've received, and I give you instant, unscripted, spontaneous reactions. And what that means is that you need to remember that they are first impressions, because of course perfumes do develop over time. Some of them improve, some of them become less interesting, which is why at the end of the video I tend to post a little, well, I say I tend, after every single episode I've posted a little status update on how the blotters are doing after about 4 or 5 hours, because it isn't fair to judge a perfume on first impressions. I know that that's what most retailers would like us to do, and they make the top notes more interesting so that we make a purchase and walk away. If you are watching live on Facebook, thank you very much for tuning in. Please feel free to leave comments and ask questions. But even if you're watching after the live broadcast, do ask any question that pops into your head, because I try to answer all of them. And usually what happens is that these videos then end up being uploaded to YouTube for people who prefer YouTube. So if you are watching on YouTube, please feel free to leave a comment and ask a question there and give me a like and subscribe to my channel. Right, let me make sure that I haven't missed any comments. So, this is so annoying. If I don't get to these comments in time, they seem to vanish. Hello to all the people who are saying hi. Fahmi says hello. Happy to catch you live again. Very happy to be caught. I hope I'm saying this name properly. Almog says, are you from London? No, this is not coming to you from London, but it is coming to you from the UK. Hello to you as well. Ross, nice to be seen. Love your shirt. Thank you very much. And somebody else likes the shirt as well. Thank you very much, Angeline. And there's lots of names here. Are you just tagging people because you want them to watch this? And somebody's being sick, I suppose, when I mentioned the woody ambery masculines. And let's look at what this says. This is from Ross. Most of the mainstream masculines seem to have the same tedious theme. Very few step out of line. Yes, I think you're right, which is why when you get something that does step out of line, where is it? We may not get a chance to talk about this one today. I may save it for the next episode, which should be on Friday. When you get ones that do step out of line a little bit, I'm looking at you, the eau de parfum of Givenchy's Gentleman, then you kind of want to hug them for all they're worth. And Jules says, good day, a very good day to you as well. Thank you very much to all of you for tuning in. The press release for Dolce & Gabbana's The One. The press release was interesting because I believe that, to a critic journalist based here in Europe, in the UK, I think it's the first one that I've received that features very, very, very overtly Arabian imagery. I showed this to Madame Persolaise. She was appreciative of the images, but I can't think of another example. It's interesting as well that they've got this guy in the kandura and the dish dash, and also in a dinner jacket. But I can't think of another press release that actually uses this sort of imagery that's been sent to somebody based here in the UK. So let us have a look at what they're saying. Where does this press release even start? Dolce Gabbana introduces a new exclusive edition of the One for Men, a more intense fragrance tailor-made for the Middle East. Do you see what they did there? The One Mysterious Night. Okay, so maybe that word that I'm reluctant to read means mysterious. Following the path of the One Royal Night exclusive edition launched in 2015, the One Mysterious Night explores the enigmatic world of the original The One for Men, adding a touch of the vibrant and magnetic sense of this extraordinary land. The One Mysterious Night is the second exclusive edition to join the franchise. Okay. The One Royal Night was the first fragrance to combine Arabian soul with the Italian essence, an oriental spicy scent celebrating the richness of amber. Yeah, amber is a rich material when it's done well. There's a honey note that just popped in there, actually. It's not terrible. It is I have smelt things that are a lot worse than this. Coach for men. Not happy. The One Mysterious Night continues this cultural connection as a new chapter in a richly evolving story. Shall we just get to the fragrance? Okay, the fragrance opens with vibrant, spicy notes of saffron. Okay. Combined with the scent of grapefruit. If you say so. At the heart, rose absolute and oud accord blend with clary sage. There is a kind of dry, urinous, herbaceous aspect to it. An aromatic herbaceous note with subtle leathery nuances. The base reveals the original soft and rich path of the One for Men, with warm amber, precious woods, alongside refined accords of intoxicating tonka bean. Yeah, I suppose, except maybe not done with the sorts of, maybe not with enough naturals to make the whole thing really fly. Oh, and here you go, the advertising campaign. To celebrate the One Mysterious Night, 3 characters embark on a voyage of discovery, exploring the fragrance's key ingredients: saffron, rose, and precious woods, shot in distinctive and exotic locations around Dubai, the desert, the spice market, and the historic town centre. Oh, I need to see this ad then. The movie highlights the contrasted facets of the personality of the One Mysterious Night's man. Sorry, is that unintentionally hilarious? The One Mysterious Night's... Anyway, as the culmination of this captivating journey, the 3 men eventually meet on a rooftop overlooking the starry sky. A rooftop overlooking the sky? I know they've got the tallest building in the world, but anyway. To experience the fusion of these precious ingredients into one fragrance. The One Mysterious Night. So are they different guys? Am I just being blind? Oh no, I suppose they are. I thought they were the same guy. Okay, I need to watch this advert. Maybe it's available online. No, I suppose now looking at them, they are 3 different guys, I guess. I don't know. No, never mind. I'm sure maybe there's 2 guys. I don't know. Well, even Madame Persolaise didn't seem to notice there were 3 different guys. So, yeah, it's not terrible. It is not terrible. Fahmi says, please do the Dusita. Okay, I think we should be able to do that. Don't forget, there's also a classic choice coming later, as per usual. We will definitely do the Dusita, but how about we do that third, because I think the other one I'd like to do, sticking in a kind of mainstream vein, if I swap places with the Dolce & Gabbana and this one, the new Paco Rabanne. I'm intrigued by this, because unless I'm mistaken, this is by a young perfumer. Here you go. Get it right. Okay. This is by Givaudan perfumer called Quentin Biche, or Quentin Biche. Almog says, never tried Dusita but heard good things. The brand has a lot of fans. The brand absolutely has a lot of fans. Oh, look at this. But anyway, actually, one thing at a time. So this is Eau de Parfum of Pure Excess from Paco Rabanne. I think we've got some bling coming up, people. Let's see how many hearts go flying across the screens for this bit of bling. Can you see that? It has a serpent coiled around the neck of the bottle. How biblical. How very, very Old Testament. I like the fact that one little thumb up, one person likes it. Okay, that's cool. Oh, Susan says, love it, brilliant. Okay, and another heart goes over as well. Quentin Biche, or Quentin Biche, has made quite a few waves in the fragrance world since he started working. Arafat says, it's funny how I started watching just at the Middle East D&G one. No, that's not funny at all. Let me just try and think. Is it funny? No. I don't think it's funny. Does anyone else think it's funny? I'm allowed to abuse this person, by the way, people, because regular viewers will know that he's one of my oldest and best friends in the world. So, yeah, we can all just hear the tumbleweed going because it's not funny at all. Ross says, tacky but fun. Yeah, I'll go along with that. But you know what? It actually feels quite good. It feels very, very substantial. And it's got a nice heavy base. So I suppose if you're going to do tacky, Killian, maybe you should do it like this. I could see this having novelty value. Quentin Biche has won a lot of acclaim. He made La Fin du Monde for État Libre d'Orange. I think that may have been the very first perfume that he ever officially authored and signed. And I have a box of it signed by him personally for me at the État Libre boutique in Paris. So one day that's going to be like worth loads of money, and I'll sell it. I will. No, I won't. How do you say your name? Is it Jinhui? I'm really, really sorry. I don't know how to say that name properly. You liked his Attaquer le Soleil. I wasn't so crazy about that, but loads of people did like that one. Anyway, let us check out how he has taken the Pure Excess story further. And actually, let's just be fair. Let's turn this around the right way. Fahmi says, looks like Killian. It does, doesn't it? It's very much Killian. Oh, gosh. Sugar, 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 sugar. Sweet. Somebody's been on a diet and is trying to overcompensate now. Although actually close up, it's more interesting than just a sweet, sticky gourmand. What's going on here? It is unquestionably sweet. A real sugar bomb, which is probably what he was asked to make. But he's cut it. He's cut it with almost like a kind of tuberose-like sharpness. You know, you'd expect something intoxicating, witch-like. You know, you would hope that this would house something that, you know, the Queen from Snow White would want to wear. And for a mainstream perfume, it does have those sorts of facets to it. It's lifted by a very, very, very strong citrus note, which actually gives the whole thing a radiance. This feels like it would project very, very far. But it's got claws. You can imagine that this snake does have fangs. And maybe that's coming through almost through in a leathery facet. It is intriguing. Susan says there's supposed to be a popcorn note. Is that detectable? Popcorn in this one as well. I thought there was supposed to be a popcorn note in La Fin du Monde, which, again, I never really found because my association with... for me, popcorn has never been a sweet thing. And I still don't really get the point of sweet popcorn. But I guess the sweetness, the kind of caramelized... There's a comment that the end of which has been chopped off, so I'm just going to pick up on it now to see if I can find it. Why aren't these comments coming through? This is so infuriating. Anna, I can see that you've commented, but I can't see the rest of what you've written because this silly thing is not being very cooperative. I can see that I just about managed to catch that you said that he'd made a perfume for a supermarket chain, but I didn't get the rest of it. And Almog says popcorn. I think the comments are just kind of slowly coming through, so we're supposed to just kind of smile at each other. Right, here we go. Here's the comment. Anna says, I admire his work. He created a wonderful fragrance for a supermarket chain here in Spain. The scent keeps similarities to Féminité du Bois, Dolce Vita, and Oud Royale. A fragrance for a supermarket chain. That's interesting. And somebody called Ambreen Khan says hello. I have no idea who that is either. I'm really, really sorry if she's annoying you, everybody. Just ignore her. She'll probably just go and get another Jennifer Aniston haircut and leave us all in peace. Just feel free to hurl abuse at Ambreen Khan and Arafat Ali Khan. Both of them, just say what you like to them. So no, I would be lying if I... Hi Ambreen, how are you? I would be lying if I said that I detected a popcorn note here, but I didn't really very strongly detect it in La Fin du Monde either. As far as mainstreamy gourmand aimed at young women scents go, this isn't terrible. Let me see what I've got about it by way of a press release. I don't think I actually did have very much on this one. Oh no, I tell a lie. Here we go. Let's see what we've got to say. Paco Rabanne, excess as a manifesto. She has it all. In excess, disarming allure, self-assurance, incredible. Let's try that again. Put my teeth back in. Disarming allure, self-assurance, incredible sex appeal, just a hint of nonchalance, as intoxicating as it is intriguing. Pure excess for her captivates, accelerates, and escalates the senses without looking at you. What? Pure excess for her captivates, accelerates, and escalates the senses without looking at you. So it's like, I'm going to turn away. Is it doing something behind my back while I'm not looking at it? Was it doing anything? Without looking at you? What the hell does that even mean? With its new fragrance, Paco Rabanne tells the tale of a very pure fantasy. So don't, all you Puritans out there, don't worry too much. The origin of obsession, like her predecessor, a rich air, erotically untamed. Was this written by a machine? With rock-solid self-control, double-edged, distant yet magnetic, direct and disarming. Is it just me, or does that make no sense whatsoever? The origin of obsession, question mark, like her predecessor, a rich air, erotically untamed. Erotically untamed. With rock-solid self-control, double-edged, distant yet... Actually, I don't want to keep rereading this. The fragrance. Anna says, who writes these things? I swear, I bet you this one was written by a machine. There were lots of funny faces going right. And Jules says, who wrote that? Shall we say it was lost in translation? I'm still stuck on erotically untamed with rock-solid self-control. The fragrance, a wildly provocative and wildly untamed. This is okay. Watch out, people. This is going to do something. Floral, created by Quentin Biche, an impassioned and passionate perfumer. I wonder if he's also untamed. At Givaudan, inspired by one of his trips to Reunion Island, he came back to Paris obsessed by a heady, dazzling ylang ylang. His goal. Oh, I've just seen what the rest of the sentence is. Do you want to know what his goal was? His goal was to bottle the essence of an orgasm. An explosion of the senses brought within reach with a distinctive Paco flair. Pardon me while I take another sniff. Yeah, I think they lost me at orgasm. To bottle the essence of an orgasm and we need to carry on with this press release now, don't we? The senses brought within reach with a distinctive Paco flair. Quentin has devised a detonating duo. Lots of D's here. Magnetic ylang ylang on an intriguing popcorn note explosion, because you gotta have some popcorn after a good orgasm. The notes, or before maybe, the notes vibrate against each other together in tension to trigger in an avalanche of the senses a moment of explosive erotica. I promise you, I have no idea this press release was going to go this way. First, a floral embrace, Feel the heat with ylang ylang, radiant with hints of jasmine, petals unfolding into leather-hot vanilla, audacious deliciousness. Give in to your instincts and exude hypnotic sex appeal. Next, explosive sexuality with a daring popcorn bite. Desire goes wild. Sorry, desire goes wild, and then it says pop. Notes of salty, sweet popped. No salty, don't lie. You can have your bottled orgasm, but don't tell me there's salty popcorn in here. Notes of salty, sweet popped corn, heated to burst. Musk and milkwood notes in multitude to ignite the skin and set the senses alight. Desire on fire. The formula explosion. Ylang ylang, vanilla, popcorn note, sandalwood, umbrette seed. I think that's probably quite enough of that. And whoa, well, how's your Sunday afternoon going? Do you know what? I would laugh if, I gave this blotter to somebody to smell. I said, does this make you think of anything? And they sort of went, well, actually, now that you mention it. Okay, but basically, I was thinking along tuberose lines, and I still say there's something kind of tuberosy in the white floral here. It is basically a sweet, gourmand-like white floral with a very, very, very radiant top. And yes, unquestionably, it achieves its... No, it doesn't. Nice bottle. You've all gone quiet. My whole screen, except for a few laughing faces, except for a few lols. You've all just obviously gone to your kitchens to sort of grab a cold drink and cool down. Quentin, you naughty boy, going off to distant islands and coming back wanting to corrupt us with bottled orgasms. How could you? Just stick to your popcorn. Stick to your popcorn and pretzels. Don't give us all this bottled stuff. Just give us savoury snacks without the naughty bits. Where were we? Let me bring the feedback on the tablet. Susan says, I'm going to buy it because it's so wild. I think you should, Susan. I really think you should. And then I think you should report back. But you must also tell us before you buy it so that we can kind of send a search party out for you if you're just attacked by all of these people enticed by your erotically charged, untamed wildness. Almog says, episode 21, I missed all the 20 others. Well, clearly you did. They're all on YouTube. Don't worry, they are all on YouTube, and there is a Love at First Scent playlist, and you can watch them all to your heart's content. I remember somebody a few months ago left a comment on there saying that they binged watched all of the episodes of Love at First Scent, which meant that they had actually spent more time looking at this than they had binge watching The Crown, which is quite a... Sorry, do this finger because it looks better. Which is quite an achievement, really. Okay, the time is... Yeah, I think it's time we moved on to another perfume. And somebody asked me to do the Dusita, so why not? Let us do the Dusita. I suspect there will be no orgasms bottled in this one. And this is called, and I'm sure I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but I will say Erawan or Erawan. Should we stick to Erawan? This is a brand that has gained quite a following. Unless I'm mistaken, it does a lot of its publicity online, mostly through Facebook. Smart packaging, and there we go. Can you see that? And the founder, whose name escapes me, but I will look it up when we start looking at any text I may have on the perfume. The founder has decided that she's going to make perfumes inspired by her dad's poetry. So maybe we should, and her father was called, or is called, no, I think he's passed away, Montri Umavijani, is that right? So how about we read the poem before we smell the perfume? And I haven't read this poem before. It's not very long at all, 5 lines. I did not know how I got there. I walked through an autumn wood in the twilight country. It was wonderful how I journeyed then to light. Okay, interesting. So if we all put our A-level English literature hats on, please. Umbreen, are you still there? Arafat, are you still there? What have we got here? We've got images of walking from darkness into light, twilight into light, autumn woods, so vegetation, images of maybe a kind of canopy over your head, blocking out the sunlight, confusion, I did not know how I got there, and then the joy of going into the light. So is that what the perfume's going to be doing? Is the perfume going to be a sort of journey from darkness into light? Let's find out. While I'm doing this, I will also say thank you to everybody who's tuning in or has tuned in to episode 21 of Love at First Scent here on Facebook Live. But even if you're not watching live, do feel free to leave a comment or ask a question. And if you're watching on YouTube after the live broadcast, feel free to leave a comment there as well. This is the Eau de Parfum of Erawan from Dusita. After this, today's classic choice, which is quite a special one actually. I'll tell you why it's special. Obviously, I will tell you why it's special. Oh look, Umbreen and Arafat have gone away because I upset them. I was actually quite mean to them, considering they're two of my oldest friends. But hey, you know, this is what you get to do when you broadcast live to the world. Oh, Umbreen says interesting poem. So you are still there. Yeah, I thought it was an interesting poem, quite evocative. Right, Erawan. Oh, interesting perfume as well, actually. It does have something very, very vegetal, green, hay-like. I would have said a tobacco absolute. If you've ever smelled a tobacco absolute, it has got that outdoorsy and yet somehow secluded, warm, glowing, hay-like feeling to it. This is intriguing, very, very intriguing. Because you know in perfumery how we use the term barnyard notes to convey the idea of something being maybe a bit fecal, farm-like in a dirty way. This is farm-like in a very clean, outdoorsy way. So it's straw, crisp, dry, yellowed leaves, and it is autumnal. I mean, I know that the idea has probably been put in my head by the poem, but that's fine because it kind of works. I'm getting it from the smells, but definitely a crisp vegetation and a hint of dampness in the background as well. Really, really interesting. Can't think actually at the moment of anything else that smells like it. It's almost got like a sort of lime citrus quality to it at the top, and maybe the herb facets are going into a kind of lavender traditional fougere masculine area, but mostly it's that tobacco feel. I am intrigued. Somebody said out there, no, hang on, one person said that you've heard a lot about this line, but you don't know much about it. I think somebody said, was it Fahmi, why did you ask me to do this one? Is it because you like it? And I know that Forever Fragrant Kid, who follows me on Instagram, so probably will be watching this on YouTube unless I'm mistaken. I posted a little thing up about Dusita and she said that she would like to have all of their perfumes. Angeline says, sounds very nice. It is actually really intriguing. I wonder how it'll last. It feels as though it might be on the fade, but let's see what I've got about it. I seem to remember that I don't actually have a huge amount about this one, so let us see what I do have. I don't think it is really very much at all. Oh, there we go. Sorry, the name of the perfumer and the founder of the brand is Pisara Umavijani. Okay. This was launched in 2017, but the sample has only just made its way to me. And it has notes, herbal notes, petitgrain. So yes, that kind of metallic citrus quality must be the petitgrain. Notes of lily of the valley, Haitian vetiver, hay, clary sage. Okay, so maybe that's where I'm thinking tobacco. Base notes of cedar, oak moss, and vanilla. If there is a kind of lily of the valley note in there, then that's probably what I'm reading as well as the sort of fresh openness. I am intrigued. So far out of the three of them, this is the one that I would most want to try on skin. And I will be very, very interested to see how this one develops. And nobody's saying... sorry, let me just see these comments. Why is everything being so slow today? I can't see the name because I'm getting old and I can't read properly. Is it... Jula says, hello, I'm late, just tuned in. Oh, Yale, sorry. Why does it say Jula Gold then? And Jules says, I'm intrigued as well. Hello to you. If I've missed any comments and if you were asking a question that you would really like me to answer, then just post the comment again. I don't mind. I won't think you're being annoying. It's probably just because I've missed the comment and I'm stupid and I don't know how to use technology. This is interesting. Outdoorsy in a curious autumnal way. Right, let's put this away so that we're not making too much of a mess. And it is time for today's classic choice. By the way, the very next episode of Love at First Scent will be this Friday. I've kept you waiting for a long time for this one. Fahmi says, so far better than the Paco Rabanne. Yeah, has to be said. Much more interesting, much more original. I've kept you waiting for a long time for this episode 21. That's because October was a bit busy and then I got a cold and I thought, well, I can't be smelling things live if I've got a cold, so I needed to make sure that went away, blah, 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 blah. But November is also a very busy time for lots of other reasons, so I thought if I get another video in there, so at least you've got another one. You don't have to watch it live if you can't, although I obviously prefer you to watch it live, but you can watch it after the fact. So I'm aiming to broadcast it again on Facebook Live at midday UK time this Friday. And we may get to some of the perfumes that we haven't got to today and maybe some new ones as well, like maybe the new one from Frederic Malle called Dawn. I'd also like to tell you about this brand if I don't get a chance to today. But classic choice. Today's classic choice was inspired by something that happened the other day. So, sorry if this sounds mysterious, but you'll get where I'm going with this. If you are the guy who came up to me at a restaurant in Tooting the other day and said hello, then this classic choice was inspired by you, because you will remember that you told me that this is your favourite perfume. So I thought, well, that's quite a good one because it is a bit of a modern classic. So, classic choice for today, inspired by person from Tooting Restaurant who came up to say thank you for all the stuff you do on the net, which was very, very sweet of him, is Encre Noire from Lalique, translated as black ink. There will be some of you out there who know this, so don't be shy now. Tell me if you like it, tell me if you can't stand it. Let's spray and remind ourselves. So this is from 2006. It's had at least 2 flankers since it was first released. Originally composed by Nathalie Lorson, who I think did at least one of the flankers. Let's give it pride of place there. And it is, as some of you will be well aware, a very good, extremely well composed, modern vetiver. Vetiver is a much used material in perfumery, but it's one of these substances that has a very definite tipping point. Bon dia Persolaise says, why do my comments keep disappearing? Says Diego. And a very good day to you as well, Diego. Thanks for tuning in. Stephen says, one of my favourites, but I'm an anosmic to it after 30 minutes or so. That's interesting. I keep meaning to write something about this business of not being able to smell your own perfumes, which is a pain to say the least, isn't it? Because if you're wearing something, then you want to be able to enjoy it. Is that the case as well if you spray some on fabric, like on the clothes that you're wearing? Assuming you were wearing clothes when you spray this perfume, Stephen. Or maybe you'd like some... Never mind. So, where was I going with the vetiver thing? Vetiver is one of these materials that is very, very important, used in the vast majority of perfume compositions, but it hovers in the background and supports the other materials when it's used up to a certain point, and then there does come this tipping point after which the perfume may as well just be a vetiver perfume because it seems to dominate everything else. And so when you smell Encre Noire, that rooty, licorice-like, partly smoky, partly woody, perhaps even partly minty thing that you can smell is the vetiver. Comment from Fahmi, who's just replying to Stephen, maybe a lot of ISO-E super, so you're anosmic to it. Could be. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of ISO-E super in this as well. But the main thing that I get... Oh, Yina says beauty. Lots of people love this. Stephen says it is the ISO-E super. I have the same problem with Terre d'Hermès. Have you tried spraying it on fabric? I basically see this as a fairly straightforward but very effective composition that mixes vetiver and probably lots of synthetics derived from vetiver and musks. Lots and lots of synthetic musks. And Fahmi has the same problem with Terre. Interesting. Yale says, changed my name here on Facebook, but of course it's still Yale in black ink. Yale says the male version is much better than the one aimed at women. Yes, I would be inclined to agree, I think, and much more successful. Very strong stuff, not my favourite, the stuff for women. Oh, and Jinhui says, kind of a budget sycamore. Interesting way of putting it. I mean, sycamore I always also associate, sycamore from Chanel, by the way, in case any of you are wondering, which is another very, very strong vetiver. I always associate sycamore as combining vetiver with sandalwood, and I personally always wish that the sandalwood facet would last longer in sycamore. But yes, absolutely, the two are related. And the other one to kind of compare with this is Vetiver Extraordinaire from Frederic Malle, because of course that's a much cleaner vetiver. But if ever people say to me that they would like to kind of go all out with a vetiver, this is one of the first things that I recommend to them. And the flanker that was supposed to be the even stronger one that came out, I'm going to say maybe 3 years ago, I think, which was called Encre Noire à l'extrême. But somebody please correct me. Somebody go on Base Notes now and look it up. That worked very well too, and that added a kind of more overtly oriental feel to it with heavier notes of incense, and that was very effective. My vetiver confession is that I very rarely get to wear overtly vetiver-based fragrances because Madame Persolaise can't stand them, and she is consistent. She is true to her tastes, and there is something about them that always makes her stomach turn, and the same is true of grapefruit-based fragrances, or at least fragrances with a grapefruit top note. They make her stomach turn as well, and there are facets that grapefruit and vetiver have in common, so go figure. There's obviously something about those things. So I would not be allowed to wear Encre Noire in her presence, because then there would be trouble. Missed a comment from Stephen. Stephen says, I smelled sycamore yesterday for the first time. Wow, that must have been a treat. Beautiful. I've had the Malle one on a few years ago, but he's getting very pricey. He is. This is probably not the best time to tell you then that the new addition to his range with the Arabic names is going to be another one of those ones where I think the 50 mils is just short of £600, I think. So yeah, he is getting pricey. I mean, there is an annual, very predictable price hike with the Malles. And Fahmi says, yes, the extreme one. Yeah, thank you very much. It was extreme, wasn't it? Encre Noire à l'extrême. But while you've got this, and sycamore, which I think comes in a smaller size, then you're all right for your vetiver fix. Okay, we are just about to start, I think, on our fifth and final perfume, and I'm still undecided as to which one it should be, but I've got a feeling. So I will slowly start saying goodbyes now and just remind you that you are watching episode 21 of Love at First Scent with me, Persolaise, here on Facebook Live. Please give me thumbs up and hearts because I need them and they validate my existence on this planet. Please feel free to ask questions and leave comments if you're watching after the live event. Holy Bejesus 600. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on that. Although actually, well, wait till we might do the Frederic Malle on Friday, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be in the same price bracket as his The Night by Dominique Ropion, which came out a few years ago. Yeah, and I think the 100 mils is even higher. But what was I saying? Please feel free to predict what I'm going to say next. To leave comments and ask questions. And if you're watching after the live broadcast, leave a question or a comment as well. And also on YouTube. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And what time on Friday, sir, says Almog? Midday UK time. But don't go away yet, because we're not done yet, says the 3D pointy finger. I think maybe, as this has been a kind of mainstreamy episode, because we've had the D&G, we've had the Paco Rabanne, we've had the Lalique, maybe we should try this new thing. Burberry, can you see that? Her from Burberry. Her Eau de Parfum, which came out not very long ago at all. And I have a press release for this one, and I can't... Can you hear that? Okay. Don't forget about the Blotter status update that I will do a few hours after this broadcast. Hang on, comment from Yale. Let's click on that as I can see the rest of it. Yale says, I don't like vetiver either. Oh, that's interesting. So you say that is interesting. It is interesting. There are so many vetiver lovers and haters. Probably Encre Noire is one of the best if you're into this type of scent. Yeah, I would agree. Not the Burberry. Oh, it's too late. I've opened it now, Roxana. Why? Oh, look. Somewhat pink. Hang on. This feels very... Is it just me, or am I thinking Prada somehow? I do like the cap on the side. I did not know it was going to do that. And there's a secret message inside. Let us reveal the secret message. Information, it says. And I bet it's just going to be precautions for use. This fragrance contains natural extracts. How reassuring. The potential presence of suspended particles or colour variations does not alter its quality. Oh, this is kind of a standard... I thought it was going to be like a map to some hidden Burberry treasure or something, like a follow this map to a trench coat. What's the point of that? Roxana, maybe because it's boring? Oh, and Yale says, let's see if you get strawberry. Is there meant to be strawberry in this? Oh, you mean because of the pink, or have you smelt it? I do think the bottle is actually kind of cute, interesting. Right. That bottle reminded me of Prada Amber. Yes, of course, yeah, completely Prada Amber, isn't it? It's a Cure Géant. Yes, thank you very much. He has become a kind of, where he is, the sort of in-house perfumer to Burberry. But interestingly, he's not exclusive in the sense that he obviously he still makes perfumes for his own brand. He still makes perfumes for other brands, which I think is very, very wise on Burberry's part to allow him to work for other brands, but to use him and nobody but him for their scents. Elie Saab have done similar sort of thing. And I think it's probably quite a good way to go. Oyala says, I've tried it with about 3 lols. Okay, this is going to be good, is it? Are we going to end on a good note? I always find what Cure Géant does interesting. Right, here we go. I'm worried now. I love Prada Amber, such a clean scent, says Almog. Oh, it's replying to Fahmi. Okay, carry on. You can talk amongst yourselves. Right. Oh, God. Jeez, you weren't kidding. Mind you, it's quite a good strawberry, if that's what you want. Whoa. Is this like, lick me, and take my bottled orgasm with it? Wow, talk about gummy sweet. So the modern, independent-minded, free-spirited, urban London woman wants to smell like a giant strawberry. Do you think is that Yale says I thought it was awful? Don't hold back. What did you really think? Okay, this is based on the opening. Yeah, Gummy Bears says Udiza. Is that how you say your name? Sorry, or Odiza. Based on this top note, this is not something that I would ever want to purchase for anybody as a gift, and it's certainly not something that I would want to smell on anybody around me. But having said that, I can't remember the last time I smelt a strawberry note that was so freakishly, kind of like worryingly strawberry-like, because I just feel like I'm going to be attacked by these strawberry-wielding gummy bears. Maybe it's a bury her kind of scent. Yeah, maybe. But you know what? It's kind of like real strawberries, but it's also very definitely fake strawberries, like some kind of strawberry drink or some kind of sour strawberry sweet. I think sour is the thing. It's got a sour quality to it. Oh my word! I wasn't expecting that. I really, really wasn't expecting that. Alex Lee says Burberry's. Thank you for tuning in, by the way, Alex. Very nice of you to join us. Feel free to pass any comments on anything you see here. Right, where's my press release for the Burberry? I've got lots actually on this one. Well, that's cheating a bit, isn't it? Because they're blueberries, aren't they? London landscape, yes. The strawberries are exactly what you think of. Okay, image. Yeah, glacé cherries actually. I'll go along with that. Lots went into my Christmas cake the other week. Okay, this is just an album of admittedly very good photographs. Shameful waste of ice cream. Burberry, how irresponsible of you. Don't waste ice cream, even if it's for the sake of a photograph. Susan says hi to Dragan. Are you just tagging somebody there? Okay, that's fine. Alex says, miss the strawberry of the first Monsieur Sherry. Yes. That's the one that I was thinking of, and actually that was one scent which had a really intriguing popcorn note as well, speaking of popcorn from earlier. Yale says Flora Botanica springs to mind. Really? I thought Flora Botanica was... much cleaner somehow, but I'd need to revisit. Yeah, that first Monsieur Sherry, which was... Who was it by? Hang on, it was it wasn't Calice Becker, was it? Who was it by? Or was it Annick Manado? I can't remember. No, let's try and get the actual press release. Is this the press release? Okay, here we go. It's got a Snapchat thing, so you can snap the ghost. Susan says, I can never find a Burberry I like. Yeah, they think highly of you too. They just went in my ear and told me that. Christine Nagel, thank you very much, Alex. Thank you. Introducing Her, the new fragrance for women. Burberry introduces Her. Saad says, hi Umbreen to Umbreen. Could you two please just get a room? Burberry introduces Her, a new fragrance for women that captures the bold attitude and adventurous spirit of a Londoner. About the fragrance, Her Eau de Parfum is a vibrant, fruity and floral fragrance created by master perfumer Francis Courgian. It opens with a burst of red and dark berries featuring floral notes of jasmine and violet at the heart, with a base of dry amber, khan, and musk. There is a kind of tannin-like quality coming. Do you know what? I don't want to dismiss this as being completely rubbish, but it's because it's kind of good for what it is. But it smells so infantile somehow, so giggly. It's just like an annoying giggle in a bottle. You can just imagine. You can't even say anything without being completely politically incorrect. So you can just imagine people giggling. Let's just leave it at that and sort of talking about unpaid work experience, etc. The perfumer says, this is a quote from him, Her Eau de Parfum by Burberry is unique because it is a memorable signature. I could imagine this being quite memorable, actually. To achieve that, you need a strong accord, an olfactive story that translates your vision. The combination of these sunburst berries and British spirit blended with the ambery musky accord brings this very unique signature. You can immediately recognise when someone is wearing it. It's a signature scent. I think, Captain Kirk, I would agree with you that you would probably immediately recognise when somebody's wearing this, which is actually quite an achievement. Annoying giggle in a bottle. I'm out. I'm not into big fruity florals, says Susan, and Yale says I'm Broxan. Yeah, it is giggly. The campaign stars British actress and model Cara Delevingne, etc., etc. Cara recorded her own rendition of Maybe It's Because I'm a Londoner, a song dedicated to the city she loves as the campaign's accompanying soundtrack. There's one to avoid, I'd imagine. But then, for all I know, she has a beautiful singing voice. You said my name beautifully the second time. Oh, great. What did I say? Did I say Odiza? Sorry. And that lickable trend here in Mexico. You're in Mexico? That's amazing. I just love how distant people are when they're watching. Here in Mexico, everyone... Sorry, let's try again. The lickable trend here in Mexico, everyone is in the pink juice stuff. It is annoying, isn't it? Coco Mademoiselle, La Vie est Belle, Miss Dior. And talking about Dior, did you see the new ad from J'adore Absolu this morning? The hammam, the gold dresses. No. I don't know about a new Dior advert. Does it have Barry White on the soundtrack, though? And Angeline says, the Burberry is obviously friends with the Paco Rabanne. Well, I think they would pretend to be friends, and then the minute they kind of parted their ways, they'd be like on their phones texting their other friends, slagging each other off, because they probably would really, really hate each other. But in the beginning, it would be like, hello, darling, how are you? Yeah, we must do some unpaid work experience together, because Daddy's rich and he can afford to support us while we're doing unpaid work experience. I didn't really say that, did I? But anyway, this is live. What can we do? But to give Captain Kirk his due, this is actually fairly distinctive in a way, and I'm trying to work out what it is that just sets it apart. Maybe what sets it apart from the other fruity florals is that this really goes all out with the sweetness and tries to be so adolescent and so sweet. Susan says mean girls. Yeah, there'd be like two catfighting mean girls. That you would actually recognise this on somebody. And I would guess, I will have to test this the next time I see her, but I would guess that my 18-year-old niece would actually go crazy for this. I would guess. So, on that cat-fighty note, let us have 3 seconds of spreading peace and love around the world. 3. And let us re-smell the blotters before I start bidding you farewell. So, we started with, let's do it in a slightly different order actually. Paco Rabanne came second, so maybe I shouldn't go sweet. Let's smell the Dusita. This was Erawan from Dusita. Yeah, that's definitely the thoroughly intrigued at first scent. Still really, really outdoorsy. I think the last time I smelled a kind of bewitching, and you know what? I just thought it reminds me of tea as well. It's got a very, very strong either green or black tea note. But the last time I smelled something so bewitchingly green, sappy, outdoorsy was Coven from Andrea Mack, the Icelandic brand. And they're sort of off my radar at the moment, and I don't know what they're doing. And I remember the first few scents that they released, I wasn't overly enamoured with, but Coven was great, and this reminds me of that. It's like a sort of maybe green tea. Susan Smith says, "Hey SP." I'm not getting it. Is that to somebody else? You mustn't forget. I am a bit slow when it comes to sort of understanding what people mean. So the Erawan. Oh, and Ross says, I love Coven. It's back repackaged. I didn't know that. Coven is great. I just loved Coven. I made Coven I put it on my list of one of the best perfumes of that year, whichever year it was. It's going back a few years now, isn't it? So the Dusita, definitely thumbs up. The Dolce Gabbana, yeah, it's kind of like... Oh, Susan says, saying hello to Sultan Pasha. How did I miss that? Hello, Sultan Pasha, from me as well. Yeah, the Dolce & Gabbana... Those 3 guys, when they get on that rooftop overlooking the skies, they need to think about their perfume choices. The Paco Rabanne, it's all right. It's probably the kind of thing that we'll be smelling in department stores all over the Christmas period. But nothing to write home about particularly. And just finally, the Burberry again. It is intriguing, you know. It is trying to do something different in that sweet, girly mode. I wouldn't be quite so instantly dismissive of that one. Let's see how it develops, and I will be doing the Blotter update as one of the comments on Facebook in a few hours' time. So, thank you very much indeed to every single one of you for tuning in. Don't forget, next episode will be this Friday at midday UK time. Have a very, very good week and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Take care, and I need to now lean forward because the camera is further away than it used to be before I can say goodbye.